Hi, welcome to Laura's View, the Tarot Tube. I am really glad you're here. Today's date is Saturday, October 7th, 2023. In this video, we're going to take a look at something that was brought to my attention by one of my viewers. And she asked if the universe had any information or insights about the topic of our video tonight. And what is that topic? Well, fertility issues are on the increase. Now, this video is not going to explore the whys of it, although we might look at a little data that is illuminating. But we're going to ask a further question, getting a little bit woo here. And I'll explain as we go. So I'm going to go to a share screen, as always. If you click on the Facebook link in the video description box, you can see this exact share screen. Or if you choose, just pay attention as I go through the data and call it good, whatever you like. Okay, this is a 2022 map, global map, and it lists the fertility rates by country. As you can see, the darker brown indicates high fertility. As the issues become greater, it goes to blue and dark blue. Since the introduction in the US in 1981 of in vitro fertilization and other assisted reproductive technologies, we've now gotten to a place where 1.9, almost 2%, 2 out of every 100 babies born in the United States are born with some help of reproductive technologies, in part due to these fertility rates that are happening in, especially what are considered more Western type countries or developed or whatever phrase you use to do that. Now, one of the things I wanted to see was when I looked at when fertility issues were first noted, it seemed to be in the 50s and 60s. About the same time, people noticed that aircraft were having some unusual emissions. I have to be careful how I say this because I'd like this to go up on YouTube as well as my other platforms. Okay. Also, I did a quick search about where the jabs are globally, and it was almost chilling to see that the fewer of the global coverage of the jabs that were out there, the higher the fertility was. It almost mimics the fertility map here, with a few exceptions. Okay, but as I said, we're not going to get into why there are fertility issues. We're just going to take it as fact that there are. Now, recently, I've been going down some rabbit trails, and they include the topic of Cabbage Patch Kids. So there you've got a little search term you may want to do. And then that ties in closely with the whole concept of eugenics, okay, controlled population evolution. So my viewer wanted to know, with the rise and more widespread use of reproductive technologies, is it possible there's shenanigans going on with the biological matter that is used there, donated by donors in some cases for artificial insemination, then on to couples using their own sperm and ova to have an IVF situation, or maybe only the egg. And so I wanted to ask about that. Are there shenanigans going on with the artificial reproductive technology? Have they taken it one step further? Are they quietly doing some genetic manipulation to have an effect on the offspring from those situations? My personal experience, I only know one family that has opted for IVF, successfully opted for it. And in that case, their child does have a lot of anger management, behavioral issues that hadn't been in the family history before. because I was thinking about that as I did this, and I thought, let's ask the universe. Now, I am going to move the camera, move the cat, because Allie is getting the table all warmed up for us, and we'll see what the universe wants to say. And especially if it's a yes to this, are there insights and information for people to know to be as protected and savvy a consumer as possible? Let's see what the universe wants us to know. 1 second. We still have a tail on camera here, but I'm going to go ahead and start the shuffling. Okay, she's moving a little farther. So what we'd like to know, is there any truth to the speculation that there is some genetic manipulation going on without people's informed consent, express and explicit consent, when they utilize reproductive technologies? And insights and information, if so. So, while I would love to find out that we are barking up the wrong tree, that's not a concern, we're going to find out here very quickly. Okay, Page of Wands. 7 of Cups. Ace of Wands. We've got a very hard yes on this, guys. 6 of Swords. The Chariot. Page of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. Okay, let's talk about these cards that we see in the spread. The nice thing is there's only one major arcana so far. Now, I say that because when you have something other than major arcanas, that means a situation could be in flux, could be changed. There's action that you can take to change a situation that's not going to be as difficult as it might be with lots of major arcanas that are saying, nope, this is fixed on the possibility timeline, no way around it. Okay, so we were asking for some truth. Was there truth to that speculation? And one of the things that the Page of Wands does indicate is, when he shows up, is a search for truth. Okay, it's a discovery card. And we were asking, was there manipulation to biological products that are either from the couple themselves or available? You know, sperm banks put out donor lists, and you can look at attributes and genetics and background and things like that. So we asked if there was some manipulation going on. Just with this card alone, I was getting a soft yes, but it turned into a hard yes with this Ace of Wands showing up in the background. Okay, and but let's look forward here. Okay, now, despite what their intent is, okay, it's a little reassuring that right here in the present card, we've got the 6 of Swords. And swords, this card often indicates protecting innocent life. So despite the manipulations that have gone on with an eye to eugenics, kind of pushing the population into a certain genetic or path of development, there is a protection element going on here from our loving creator, divine source, to protect innocent life. So no matter what the intent was, it hasn't had the success rate that they wanted, which is really, really good news. Moving ahead, we've got the Chariot showing up here. And that tells me that, first of all, again, he's the younger energy of the Emperor quite often, and often shows up when there's moves and big changes that are on the horizon, the cusp that are about to happen. So what I'm seeing is, despite the fact that, yes, that has been something they try to do, in the future, it's going to be even less of an issue as far as success rate, shenanigans, tricking people into accepting a genetically altered product without their explicit consent. There's going to be action taken in that regard. Now, the insights and information here. Okay, we got the Page of Pentacles showing up. And that indicates that, again, do your due diligence. If you or a family member, loved one are using reproductive technology, search the company, go back to the origins, who owns it, see if there's BlackRock ties, that kind of thing. And in the past, people have been told to go to clinics that have the highest success rates. Maybe you'd want to be looking at outcome rates. So maybe another clinic has a slightly less success rate, but if there's data available on the health of those children and the percentage that have identified special needs and not, it might be really good to have that be a factor in your consideration. Just something to think about. Okay, King of Pentacles, again, we've got good, these cards always indicate worthwhile effort and that there's going to be a payoff for it. So again, do your due diligence, look for someone that's got a reliability for that type of service that you feel like you can trust. If that is something you need to do, or someone you love is happy to pursue that. And unfortunately, with the fertility rates right now, like I said, until our world makes a fundamental change of some sort, where medical issues are no longer a medical issue, it is something to be considered. And it's worthwhile, absolutely. Families that want children deserve to have healthy ones. And if they would like to have a child that hasn't been genetically modified, they should absolutely have that right. Let's get a couple more cards and see what's going on. Okay. There's some hidden information here. Often when this card shows up, the universe is either choosing not to disclose something at this time, or there's just some information that's just not yet available to us for one reason or another. So what we're dealing with, though, is at least 75% accuracy here in what's been given to us. In other words, we've got the instruments, the tools here now, the information at our fingertips to be smarter consumers if this is a service that you or someone you love has to partake of. Wheel of Fortune showing up here. Again, kind of a nod to the fact that things are changing. Our world is making some fundamental changes, and we're going from dark to light. So when this card shows up, you can smile every single time this card shows up. Okay. It might, in a personal read, if you were asking, will my good luck continue? This might not be the case, but for anything dealing with our current world situation and representation and matters of officials and things like that, when this card shows up, it's a really good thing. So there are some changes in the wind. Well, that has been the plan and that was the effort. It hasn't been as successful as I hoped, and it's going to continue to be even less and less successful as people are informed, and the white hats maybe make this more of a priority to have people needing reproductive technology to have access to technology that hasn't been tampered with without people's consent. We are in a free will universe, and we have the right to freely choose. Okay. All right. Last two cards. We have the Eight of Swords, always indicating that there's a path ahead that's very obvious if you're just willing to look, and to be ready to step forward out on that new path. The Hierophant can sometimes be more like a structural type of wisdom card. So the establishment that's doing these things, the Shenanigans, I'm sorry, but I get that the church even has been involved with this. It has. And in the past, it's lucky that it's changing. They're not going to have the success or access that they've had in the past, and that people are wising up and asking these kind of smart questions. Absolutely. Okay. Again, now let's look at major arcanas for the entire read. We have 11 cards. 3 of them are major arcanas, and 1 is very reassuring. Actually, 2 of the 3 are. And this one just, again, they get a little less impactful as we get on here. This is just saying people are going to see the path they should do. And if they do their due diligence, they're going to go to reputable companies and make smart choices with their fertility issues and services that they decide to use. Okay. All right. And again, this card can mean a couple things, but one of the things, let's just take it to mean, again, do your due diligence, do your homework, be wise. Okay. And just because someone is very authoritative, and our medical profession are fabulous at this, they can intimidate. They come in and I'm the doctor. I've got the experience. I've got the information. Well, I'm the patient and I am going to be changing my life forever based on decisions we make with you. So get off your high horse and talk to me like a person. Okay, that's a Laura's View little addition there. So let's recap. A viewer had asked, is there any truth to the speculation, the possibility that when reproductive technologies are used, that those products have been altered or manipulated in some way to make future generations less fertile, to have try to steer the development of a population in a certain direction, or to encourage some behaviors and not others? I thought it was a really good question. And when we asked the universe about it, we unfortunately got a very hard yes on that. So that has been shenanigans with this particular service and need has been at play. However, not as successfully as they hoped. So it didn't roll out as well. And there's been some efforts in the background, and I see that in the future they're going to be even more so, to make sure that innocent life is protected and has a chance to be naturally occurring, naturally evident. Hello, Chloe. Are you coming in to get? Hallie was here at the start, and Chloe's going to be here at the finish. Wheel of Fortune showed up. Again, always a good card to see on any kind of a question that's not for one individual person. And that is always because our world is going from dark to light. And so I would hope that the white hats become aware of the shenanigans in this industry and take some steps to put a halt to it. And in the meantime, as I said, the cards were saying, use your due diligence, be wise. Okay, do your homework, don't get intimidated. And as I said, maybe even factor in not just a clinic or service that has a great success rate, but maybe looking farther into the outcomes as far as health reported, things like that. If that data is available for those couples that have had a successful experience and have that resulted in a pregnancy and live birth. Farther down the road, what was the health and outcomes? What was what was going on? So unfortunately, until, like I said, our world makes a fundamental change and our current medical issues are not even an issue anymore, this is something people need to be aware of. And as always, like I said, listen to your discernment, you do your homework. And unfortunately, the cards did confirm that there have been some shenanigans with the products that are made available to you, the biological tissue, when you use a reproductive service. Not in every case, but in enough that you really need to be very careful. Okay. Okay, well, that's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time and going down this rabbit trail with me. And maybe you heard a couple terms that you want to look up, eugenics, Cabbage Patch Kids, which seems to be part of some of our hidden history, and very fascinating stuff. Okay. And I appreciate that you not only listen to me, but that you're, I love you too, Chloe, that you're willing to think outside the box and explore some non-traditional paths of information, and to do so with your facilities, your logic, your discernment going on, so that you don't buy everything that comes down the pike, but you're open to all information, but you only accept what seems reasonable and prudent. So use your discernment always. Okay, including with what I say. And if I ever say different, drop me like a hot rock. Okay. So until next time, I send you love and light and wish everything bright for you.